Welcome to this how-to guide. So today we're going to look at how to create box pleats. And you may notice these from like men's shirt pockets where it's folded over in the middle where it adds more room. It is also seen on the back of men's shirts and dresses where the fabric is folded onto itself and creating a different flare going outwards. So similar to how we did the flat pleats, we're going to do the same process but slightly different. With that, the first step is I want you to measure using the same measurements of 2 centimeters, but this time you're going to colour it with one colour. Now I've got a red colour. I want to do the same, line it up, measure it, and I want to do it in blue. And again, I want to do a blue. And then, so you want to do one colour, and two the next. One colour, two the next. So that's one red, two blue. One red, two blue. And the reason why we're doing this will come apparent when we go to folding and ironing. Now, if you've noticed, I've just made a mistake with the colouring, which is quite easy to do, but it's okay. So for that, just so I know, I'm going to just, as mistakes happen, just going to mark it slightly with blue Taylor's chalk. If you make that mistake, it's okay to make mistakes. It's then how do we correct them? So how do we correct them would be that we are using the Taylor's chalk to cover over that. And with this can be quite tedious, but also quite a complex way of doing. Make sure that you need to get them lined up correctly, and also make sure you're using the right colouring. And to do that, it can be confusing at times, but not to worry, because everything can be fixed. Nothing's not unfixable. And similar to how we did the flat plate, your sample size will be A4 or slightly bigger. With pleats, you're generally wanting the fabric to be more elongated rather than short. So if you're wanting more pleats, you need to add more fabric in the length rather than portrait. Now you get to the end where there is a slight bit where it won't meet. So then we can look at it. So now I'm going to take away my cutting board because at this stage I'm going to iron. Now with pleats, box pleats, you need to do a different thing. So this is a wee bit more complicated, but the colouring on your fabric will help that we've just done. So you want to miss one and you want to match one. So you want to go from, so you're going to miss this line and you'll see this line. You want to then miss that. So we're going to miss two. What I want you to do is miss two lines and then go to your third line, grab your third line and match it with your first line. And I want it to go up the way this time. And then just make sure that your iron is switched on. And then just give it a wee press. And you can see that then my fold is now going up the way. And for this one, I'm going to pin it both sides. So you can then go to the next one. And this time, instead of going that way, we want to go this way. And I want you to pull that in and misalign. And I want you to flatten it down and then press. And you can start to see a shape happening. And that's where the box pleat is going to be formed. So with your two folds going the opposite directions from each other, so if they go the same way, it'll just become a flat pleat. But if you do it the opposite ways, you'll then have like a box in shape, size. And then when you turn it over, it will be completely concealed. It can be opened. So just to recap, you want to do it for the following way. So you can miss one, and then I want you to go to the red line. So the purpose of using different lines is to help you guide. So you can leave one. So for this one, I'm going to miss one, and I want to fold it over. With box pleats, unlike flat pleats, the placement of where you start and where you finish and how it'll look all determines in what your vision is for your item. For instance, if you wanted this to be in the centre, you need to measure it into the centre. Misalign, line up. And if you're wanting it to be all continuous, you need to then make sure you've also got enough fabric and also format to do so. So far I've got two box pleats. And then I'm going to miss one, go to the next line, and I go to start it, and as you can see, there's not enough fabric. So yes, in flat pleats there'll be loads of more pleats, but because of the box shaping, it leaves us not really much room. There's two ways you can fix that. You can then undo your second one, because now you've got an idea of the placement. Open it back up, and then you could go from the bottom and do it a similar way, picking up your red one. And as you can see, my fabric is slightly not cut straight. That is fine. So in that case, you can then trim it up at the end of the pleating. Now, because that is uneven, I'm going to miss that one because it is too much uneven but to give a nice shape. So in this, I'm going to then cut off 2 centimeters from the edging. And just like we did with the flat pleats, I want you to then do 1 centimeter seam allowance along the top and bottom this time of your fabric. So you're making sure each line is lined up perfectly to match. So you're doing one, missing one. And because we then went back and changed it slightly, you'll see the slight difference in the result. So as you can remember, I said that I was going to trim this off. So using fabric scissors, I'm then going to carefully trim along the 2 centimetre line and take away the excess that I don't want in my final sample. So then I just want to give it another wee quick press. Just to make sure that it's perfect. And then I want you to take it over to the sewing machine and sew a 1 centimetre. Now that you have sewn a straight stitch up both sides, you can now take your pins out. And then making sure that you pop them back to where you keep your pins. So in my case, I've got a wee pin cushion so that you don't lose any. And with that, what I want you to do then is to give it another wee iron. So making sure you're ironing it over. And then you can turn it over and then you can see two formed pleats. And this is where you can see then there's a gap in here so you can open it up, but it's also creating that form fitting. So when you can then, if you're wearing a shirt, it could contour to your body, it could